and gentlemen, I am here with Shivani Hedlandi, referred to as Dr. Hedlandi. I'm here with two world-renowned psychologists who have both received a PhD at Harvard, Dr. Sopam Nikwa and Dr. James Marielise. Alright, we're back after this misfortunate technical difficulty. Alright, tonight's interview will revolve around the idea of people of transgender in the United States military. Dr. Soham and Dr. Mariala will provide input towards the questions that the studio and you, the audience, have submitted. In fact, I heard that Dr. Soham has been working in partnership with Dr. Mariala with patients who have experienced this type of thing. And I believe their intent was to truly understand the issues related with people of transgender in the military. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
Let's start with a very broad topic. My mistake, a very broad question. Targeting military service members in general. What are the types of impact the military has on our beloved United States soldiers and their families?
What do you want to hear?
That is quite unpleasant to hear. Anything else, Dr. Mariala?
Actually, there is more. There's also
Just 3 slides.
Like?
well, the fathers that military have to constantly worry about brother and his mother's health. Let's keep in mind that the military is a Russian place and it meant it's transferred into the soldiers to show the global very safe. So this country should have reported that the social levels was just such a great sometimes it's
She just doesn't want to have to be less social lessons in the fight.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm getting notice from our producers. Now we need to proceed with our next question. Let's discuss transgenders and the things that affect their lives, if there are any.
According to numerous studies, there is a specific type of disorder called gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria?
Yes, it is a state of being where a person is uncomfortable in the body that they were given, such as the gender they were assigned at birth.
Around the age 14, I started experiencing gender dysphoria. Initially, I was feeling almost like I was pushing out on one side, trying to get out like a train that could never.
So, are there any symptoms to this disorder?
Primarily, it causes a tremendous amount of stress. This stress is caused because these people are constantly trying to figure out their true identities. This stress, if left untreated, can lead to severe depression. Psychology.com wrote, while approximately only 6.7% of the general United States population suffers from depression, nearly half of all individuals who identify as transgender experience depression. What's more, over 41% of all trans men and women are estimated to have attempted suicide, a rate that's nearly 9 times higher than comparable peers.
So it's in other words, more than half of all people from depression.
Yes, also according to psychiatry.org, gender dysphoria also causes impairment of function. Basically, your body does not function properly when you're under constant stress.
Interesting. Now, out of personal curiosity, what happens when a person of transgender decides to undergo these changes?
Great question. When a person of the transgender community wants to transition, they may have to undergo several surgical procedures and go along with hormonal therapy.
So after this specific surgery, these transgenders
Is that so?
In fact, the Heritage Foundation stated that 10 to 15 years after surgical reassignment, the suicide rate of those who had undergone sex reassignment surgery was to 20 times that of comparable peers.
Wow, what a misfortunate fact. So, gentlemen, how does this connect to our topic of interest, transgenders in the military?
I agree. Although some members of society believe people of transgender should have the right to join the United States military, research indicates that people of transgender who served in the armed forces are at high risk of stress from the demanding military and have complex biological challenges that may hinder their performance.
Is there evidence to support your claim, other than the inferences that you've made?
Believe it or not, there's evidence of support.
Do you mind sharing some of this information with us?
Absolutely. So we're going to start discussing topics before we start talking about the broader question.
Let's start with discrimination, how that results in stress.
Okay, so how do people of transgender, in general, experience discrimination?
Currently, in the United States, transgender people are not fully accepted by society. society constantly denies transgender people jobs, rights, and respect. Basically, the people of today's society look down upon the people of transgender. This rejection of people of transgender by society is as severe as the rejection of African Americans in the 1900s. As one of our recent transgender patients named Jennifer Sims, who was a captain in the United States Army, once said, "The transgender community is a small, marginalized, and all too frequently subject of ridicule and abuse."
Forgive me, I'm sick. But wow. So this form of discrimination, is it also present in military communities?
Absolutely, in the military, this discrimination is more less than the discrimination that cisgender and this is on transgenders. This is because most people of the cisgender military don't believe that people of transgender should be serving in the armed forces and thus focus their most of the transgender people in the military. As a result, 90% of the transgender military is from trade service to avoid being mistreated or hostile to transgender.
Okay, Dr. Soham, you mentioned earlier something about biological challenges that people with transgender face. Can you elaborate for us?
Yes, indeed. But as we referenced before, the hormonal treatment causes suicide rates to drastically increase. Also, Reverend Wright, a community centered around hormonal treatment and the process of transitioning, wrote, "A possibility that long-term hormone therapy can put strain on your liver or cause liver disease," and later said medication, hormones, can have serious side effects and risks. Although they did not discuss the side effects earlier, we can assume that they can happen in certain cases.
How do the side effects of this treatment relate to our discussion? That's interesting, just as much as they are compelling. But I want to change gears for a bit. Earlier, you talked about stress in general and how it affects people with transgender. So does the stress that these people experience solely come from gender dysphoria and partially discrimination, as you mentioned earlier? Or are there any other factors that contribute to stress?
Good question. As a matter of fact, the military itself is one of the causes that increase stress for people transgender that are in the military forces.
Is that so?
Yes, we briefly mentioned before how the military is stressful for the families of the soldiers. Yet the military indirectly places a tremendous amount of stress on the soldiers as well.
How exactly does the military do this?
So the U.S. military has a mission. Its mission is to protect the U.S. and get rid of any unwanted enemies. That is the military's primary job. To accomplish their mission, they have a very elaborate and effective system of command. Soldiers have to follow orders from their officers in command at all costs. Whether it be while you're sleeping or while you're awake, you have to follow these orders. This command system can bring forth a tremendous amount of stress to the soldiers, and if you don't follow it, then you compromise the effectiveness, including moral, discipline, equipment, logistics, and the true readiness of the military. Also, the soldiers get very little rest in between their deployments, which can also lead to more stress.
I understand that the stress of the military affects all soldiers, which is what you had just described. But that entailed all soldiers. And it didn't include just transgender soldiers. Is there a reason that you described that?
The stress affects all soldiers in the armed forces. People with transgender are under more stress.
How so?
So the answer to your question incorporates all the previous things we've talked about in this report. The reason why people of transgender are affected more by the stress of the military is because they already have a plethora of their own problems and stress to deal with. Like we talked about before, gender dysphoria can cause stress and depression. Discrimination can also cause depression and low self-esteem. Hormonal changes can cause suicidal thoughts. And on top of all of that, the military itself places an abundance of stress on the soldiers. People of transgender face all of these problems at once. This is why the stress of the military affects people of transgender the most.
To go along with the doctors explain with our discussion, so we should proceed this to information for more than 4 years. Specifically, answer in Afghanistan for my mental health for I was in prison from the
Alright. I've heard many people say, why allow people with transgender in the military when they're already battling their own problems? Why allow transgenders to enter the military if they know that the armed forces will worsen the problems that they already face? Why allow people with transgender in the military if we know that both military alongside their own challenges will tax them mentally and physically? Why allow transgenders in the military if, with all due respect of course, we know that it may compromise the strength of the U.S. military?
Exactly. What we're trying to say is that people of transgender already face a tremendous amount of problems in their daily life. So joining the military will only cause them more harm. Such burdened people of transgender will put the effectiveness of the military at risk. With all due respect, people of transgender join the military to help it, yet they end up degrading the military. This is why we believe that people of transgender should not be allowed in the military.
Gentlemen, now that we've talked about this for so long, let's take a step back. What are your personal views on this topic?
I've said before, though I've had many transgender patients that are in the military, I personally believe that people of transgender should not be allowed in the military.
So you're saying that a lot of people believe that transgender people should be allowed in the United States military?
Yes.
So why do they believe this?
Well, the thought process is quite simple. They simply believe that no matter if you're transgender or not, if you have the determination and patriotism to serve in the army, then by all means you should be able to do it.
What do you mean?
Sufficient evidence to prove this claim. According to the Heritage Foundation, it found that most research was poorly designed, which skewed the results in favor of physically changing sex. The data that may have been presented in arguments opposing ours is put into question in terms of ethnicity. Moving off with Dr. Mariola's point for a second before. What these people also fail to see is the internal thought process and mechanics of these transgenders.
One moment, ladies and gentlemen. I've just received word that we need to wrap up. So, Dr. Soham, final thoughts?
Absolutely. So for this entire interview, we've been talking about people of transgender in the military. So I'm going to take a step back a bit and talk about things on the broader perspective, because we've already discussed the specific reasons. So I'd like to describe two scenarios, or two worlds. In the first world, people of transgender are allowed to serve in the military. But because of this, these transgenders are letting their mixed emotions affect the effectiveness and readiness of the military. The military is a shield, basically. A shield that protects our country. And if the shield is not functioning properly, then it will compromise the safety of whatever it is protecting. In other words, if the readiness and effectiveness of the military is at risk, then it will not only compromise the strength of our powerful United States Army, but it also puts the safety and security of our nation at risk. Now if we take a look at role number 2, in this world, transgender people are not allowed to serve in the army. On the contrary to role number 1, this world is a well-prepared, potent, and effective army that will defend this great nation. So overall, I believe that we should not allow transgender people in the army so that we can ensure a powerful military and hence ensure the safety of our nation.
Thank you both for being here today, and we hope that you have a great day.
You're welcome.